A British aristocrat's daughter marrying Pakistan's cricket superstar left the world in shock. Their marriage ended, and now Imran Khan faces time behind bars. But Jemima Goldsmith's unexpected support for her ex-husband has everyone talking. While most divorced couples keep their distance, especially after remarriages and legal troubles, something different happened here. Let's look at the surprising story of a bond that survived long after the marriage ended. At a seemingly ordinary charity dinner in London, 21-year-old Jemima Goldsmith's life changed forever. The daughter of billionaire Sir James Goldsmith walked into that room in 1995, not knowing she was about to meet the man who would turn her world upside down. That evening, she encountered Imran Khan, Pakistan's cricket superstar. At 42, he was twice her age, but their connection was immediate and powerful. Despite their different backgrounds, her British aristocracy and his Pakistani heritage, they found themselves caught up in an unexpected romance. Their connection went far beyond the surface. They discovered shared values and dreams during long conversations about politics and philosophy. The age difference that concerned others seemed to fade away in their private moments together. Then came the moment that left everyone stunned. On their second date, Imran proposed marriage. This wasn't a casual romance. This was something that took both of them by surprise with its intensity. Even Princess Diana got involved, becoming a confidant to Jemima. She took the young woman aside and shared her wisdom about marrying into a different culture. These private conversations would become crucial for Jemima's journey ahead. 2 months after their first meeting, Jemima made her shocking announcement. She was converting to Islam, marrying Imran Khan, and moving to Pakistan. The British press couldn't believe it. A young aristocrat's daughter making such a dramatic life change after knowing someone for just 8 weeks. The story captivated both British and Pakistani society. In London, they wondered how one of their own could leave everything behind. In Pakistan, they watched as their most famous bachelor prepared to marry this young British heiress. As Jemima prepared to leave London behind, she couldn't have imagined the challenges ahead. The cultural differences, political pressures, and public scrutiny in Pakistan would test their relationship in ways neither of them expected. Could their whirlwind romance survive these real-world challenges? The moment Jemima stepped off the plane in Pakistan at age 21, her fairy tale romance crashed into harsh reality. Princess Diana had pulled her aside with an urgent warning about marrying into a different culture, advice that would prove painfully prophetic. From rape threats to political attacks, the young heiress found herself facing challenges she never could have imagined from her privileged London life. Everything changed the instant she arrived in Lahore. The carefree London society parties and designer outfits disappeared, replaced by intense public scrutiny and strict cultural expectations. Millions watched her every move, analyzing each outfit and word with unforgiving attention. Jemima dove headfirst into Pakistani culture, determined to prove herself. She studied Urdu for hours, knowing she needed the language to truly connect with her new home. Her wardrobe transformed completely as she adopted traditional Pakistani dress. As she later admitted, "I over-conformed in my eagerness to be accepted." Life in Lahore tested her in ways she never expected. The cultural differences that seemed manageable during their London courtship now dominated their daily reality. The restrictions and traditions felt suffocating to someone raised in liberal Western society. In Pakistan, she carried the heavy burden of being Imran Khan's wife, with all the overwhelming expectations that came with it. Behind the public spotlight, darker challenges emerged. Political opponents targeted her with harassment that went far beyond criticism. The isolation of living in a foreign land, combined with constant public judgment, created intense pressure. Despite her determination to adapt, she remained an outsider, trying to navigate a complex social and political landscape she barely understood. The perfect romance that had captivated everyone started showing signs of strain. While Jemima fought to make her marriage work, the mounting challenges seemed insurmountable. She would soon discover that her greatest tests of strength still lay ahead, as she struggled to preserve both her marriage and her sense of self in Pakistan's unforgiving spotlight. Those tests would arrive sooner than anyone expected. What started as whispers about Jemima's background erupted into a political firestorm that would shake Pakistani society to its core. The revelation of Jemima's Jewish heritage became the perfect weapon for Imran's political opponents. Her father's Jewish background, which had never raised eyebrows in London's cosmopolitan circles, transformed into the centerpiece of a ruthless campaign. Political rivals branded her as a secret Zionist agent, spreading wild conspiracy theories about her supposed mission to infiltrate Pakistani politics. The situation quickly spiraled out of control. False stories about antiquities smuggling began circulating in the media, clearly designed to damage Imran's political career. Protesters gathered outside their home, turning what was once political theater into something far more threatening. Jemima faced weekly death threats while trying to shield their young sons from the chaos unfolding around them. The boys couldn't help but notice the increased security and the worried glances between their parents. When Imran launched his Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf party, the attacks intensified. Every time he gained political momentum, fresh accusations would surface about Jemima's supposed hidden agenda. The political establishment had found their perfect strategy. They couldn't attack Imran directly, but they could wound him through her. The harassment took on darker tones as time went on. As Jemima later revealed, she endured years of bullying, harassment, and even rape threats from political opponents. The situation had evolved from simple political manipulation into something far more dangerous. Looking back, Pakistan's political establishment had recognized early that Imran's marriage to a foreigner could be his greatest vulnerability in their conservative society. By targeting Jemima's background, they found a way to attack him that was both politically effective and personally devastating. The pressure would eventually force them to make an impossible choice about their future together. In 2004, after a decade of enduring these relentless attacks, Jemima left Pakistan. The whispers that had started about her background had succeeded in their goal, forcing apart a family that had once dreamed of building a different kind of future for Pakistan. 9 years of love, 2 beautiful sons, and countless memories together. Their fairy tale romance ended with a devastating choice no mother should ever have to make. The final months of their marriage would put Jemima's resilience to the ultimate test. The constant political attacks and cultural pressure had taken their toll on Jemima. As Imran devoted more time to his political career, she found herself increasingly isolated. Her health began deteriorating, alarming those closest to her. The final 6 months were some of the hardest times of her life, leaving her emotionally and physically drained. Their sons, Sulaiman and Qasim, found themselves caught between 2 worlds. As the political climate grew more hostile, Jemima faced an impossible choice between her marriage and her children's well-being. The quiet conversation that ended their marriage bore no resemblance to the dramatic showdowns portrayed in the media. Instead, it was a mutual acknowledgement that their love, however deep, couldn't shield them from their reality. Imran, watching his wife struggle with political life in Pakistan, understood her position. It was difficult for Jemima to adapt to the political life of Imran Khan in Pakistan, he would later admit, showing rare vulnerability about their private struggles. The decision came from necessity. Jemima needed to provide stability for their children, away from the constant threats and political turmoil. But what happened next surprised everyone. Rather than becoming bitter enemies, Imran and Jemima maintained a strong commitment to co-parenting their sons. As Jemima prepared to return to London with their children, she remained determined to maintain her connection to Pakistan's culture and people. Their love story transformed into something unexpected, a partnership based on mutual respect and shared dedication to their children. The coming years would reveal how their relationship would evolve beyond everyone's expectations of life after divorce. Most divorces leave bitter scars, but Jemima and Imran's split took an unexpected turn. Rather than walking away, she chose a path that left everyone questioning what they knew about loyalty after divorce. When Imran announced his engagement to Reham Khan, the media circled like sharks, hungry for drama. They waited for angry outbursts and social media wars from his ex-wife. But Jemima's response left Pakistan speechless. She offered genuine support and made sure their sons understood that their father's new marriage didn't diminish his love for them. Her actions spoke louder than words as she helped her children navigate the changing family dynamics. While others gossiped about Imran's new life, Jemima stayed focused on what truly mattered, maintaining their son's relationship with their father. The depth of her loyalty became clear in her public defense of Imran during his political troubles. "I disagree with IK on many political matters," she stated firmly. "But this isn't about politics. This is about my children's father, his human rights, and adherence to international law." Even as Imran married again, Jemima kept sharing family photos on social media, showing their sons spending time with their father. She proved that divorce doesn't need to tear families apart. When Pakistani authorities limited Imran's family visits, she fought back, demanding their sons' right to communicate with their father. Her support wasn't about romantic feelings. It came from understanding that family bonds survive divorce. She showed everyone how to disagree with someone's choices while defending their basic rights and dignity. As Pakistan's political situation grew more intense, Jemima faced her biggest test yet. The woman who once left Pakistan's political drama behind would soon have to choose between staying quiet or speaking up for what she believed was right. Her true loyalty was about to face its greatest challenge yet. 20 years after leaving Pakistan, Jemima found herself pulled back into its dangerous political games. She never expected to face harassment and threats simply for speaking up about her ex-husband's imprisonment. When Imran's arrest shocked Pakistan, many thought his ex-wife would stay silent. She had built a peaceful life in London, far from the political chaos that once drove her away. But Jemima couldn't watch quietly as the father of her children sat in prison. Speaking out came at a heavy price. Within days, she faced intense harassment and threats, forcing her to block her email completely. As she later revealed, political opponents launched intimidation campaigns that included rape threats and wild conspiracy theories. The situation turned so serious that her sons, Sulaiman and Qasim, pleaded with her to stop defending their father. They worried about her safety as the threats mounted, but Jemima stood firm, continuing to highlight the treatment of Imran's family and speaking against what she saw as political persecution. She commented on social media with characteristic wit. "Pakistani politics, the gift that keeps on giving," even after leaving the country 20 years ago. Behind her humor lay an unwavering commitment to speaking truth, no matter the cost. Each public statement drew more attacks. But rather than retreat into silence, Jemima grew more determined to expose what she believed was injustice. Her courage earned widespread admiration in Pakistan, as people watched a woman who could have easily walked away choose instead to take a stand. Despite the years and distance since their divorce, Jemima refused to let threats silence her. She kept sharing updates about Imran's situation and speaking against political persecution. Each wave of intimidation was met with stronger advocacy for justice. The woman who once fled Pakistan's political pressure now faced those same forces by choice. This time, she fought not for her marriage, but for principles, showing that true loyalty means standing up for what's right, even when facing threats and intimidation. Behind Jemima's brave public statements defending Imran lies a deeper story that's only now becoming clear. The Pakistani social media users calling her the Queen for supporting her ex-husband have missed the real meaning of her actions, one that goes far beyond any lingering feelings from their marriage. Her recent social media posts have captured Pakistan's attention, revealing a mission much bigger than just supporting a former spouse. Between her calls for Imran's release and demands to restore contact with him, Jemima's showing what true courage looks like in the face of intense pressure. She's been dealing with serious threats that would make most people stay quiet. "For the past few years, I've been bullied and harassed into silence by PMLN goons, including rape threats and countless conspiracy theories," she revealed. But instead of backing down, these threats only made her voice stronger. Every post she makes focuses on basic human rights and dignity. When she demands contact with Imran, she's speaking up as someone who sees injustice and refuses to stay silent. She's fighting for principles that matter to her, as a mother and as a human being. She made a promise to herself and their sons that shapes everything she does now. By standing firm despite the harassment and threats, she's teaching their children what real integrity looks like. Her actions prove that doing what's right matters more than personal comfort or safety. The threats she faces are the same ones that once forced her to leave Pakistan. She could easily stay quiet in her peaceful life in London, far from all this drama. Instead, she keeps speaking up, knowing exactly what kind of backlash will follow. Her story shows us something powerful about human connections. When others might have chosen bitterness after divorce, Jemima picked a different road. She's shown you can move forward with your own life while still caring about someone's basic human rights and dignity, especially when they're family. Through all of this, she's teaching everyone a different way to think about loyalty after divorce. It's not about holding on to old feelings or playing nice for the cameras. It's about standing up for what you believe in, even when it would be easier to just walk away and let someone else fight those battles. What makes her story special is how she's handled all this pressure with grace. While others expected her to stay quiet or take sides for political gain, she chose to follow her conscience instead. She's shown that caring about another person's welfare doesn't have to end just because a marriage does. The reaction to Jemima's defense of Imran has taken an unexpected turn, revealing a truth that's making everyone rethink what they know about loyalty and standing up for what's right. Behind the social media storm praising her actions, Jemima's own words paint a clearer picture of her motivations. Her recent statements show this isn't about old flames or unresolved feelings. It's about a mother determined to protect her children's connection to their father. When she spoke about the release of Khan, his nephew and sisters, plus the re-establishment of contact with his sons, she made her priorities crystal clear. These are the words of someone focused on family bonds, not lost romance. Their relationship holds a special place in Pakistani history. Jemima broke new ground as the only love marriage in Imran's family history, and later became part of the only divorce. This unique experience gives her insights into both tradition and change that few others have. Every time she speaks up for Imran, she faces criticism and threats. But she continues, showing her sons through actions that principles matter more than comfort or convenience. She's teaching them about courage not through lectures, but through living example. The consequences of her support keep growing. Each public statement brings new waves of harassment, yet she stays firm in her position. Her persistence comes from understanding that today's choices will shape her son's future understanding of integrity and family bonds. Jemima has created something rare in the world of high-profile divorces, a relationship based on respect and shared values rather than bitterness. She's moved forward with her own life while maintaining basic human decency and support for her children's father. Her approach stands out because she balances support with independence. She's not playing a role or following a script. She's showing what it means to defend your principles even when it costs you. Through her actions, she's giving her sons a powerful lesson about standing firm when others step back. This story goes beyond typical post-divorce dynamics. It shows how love can evolve into something more lasting than romance, a commitment to doing what's right, even when facing intense pressure to do otherwise. Her choices remind us that the strongest connections often come from consistently choosing to do the right thing, regardless of personal cost. Jemima and Imran's story defies typical relationship endings. Today, 20 years after their divorce, she remains his fiercest defender, facing threats and harassment to speak up for him during his imprisonment. Their unique bond shows how relationships can evolve beyond marriage into something rare, a loyalty that persists even when the romantic connection ends. They've created something remarkable through their mutual respect and dedication to family. While most divorced couples drift apart or become enemies, Jemima continues to stand by Imran during his darkest moments, proving that some connections grow stronger even after a marriage ends. Their journey shows us what unwavering loyalty truly looks like, especially when it matters most.